coming up with a name is
it's so hard.
some people like stress out. I was literally talking to my stylist last night and she's about to spend $500 on a domain. Of course, that's not the most important thing. You need to figure out, like, validate the idea, start getting customers before you drop $500 on a name.
Yeah.
But a name is somewhat important, but it's not that important. But if somebody wants to come up with a good name, what would be a good formula so they're not like racking their brains forever or freaking out? Like, if they needed somewhere to start, where should they start?
Sometimes it's everything, sometimes it's nothing. Like, you look at companies like Apple or Nike, and like they have a name that kind of makes sense, but not really. Like, you have companies like Apple where the name doesn't necessarily make sense, and Apple doesn't necessarily make you think of a computer, right? The name can either be everything or nothing. Here's the thing about brand names. If you're trying to think of a brand name in the beginning or a product name, a good rule of thumb is to have the product name demonstrate the intended result for the user. So like you have, for instance, in our case, start up from the bottom. Why did we call it start from the bottom? For a couple of reasons. One, because we're paying a little bit of homage to something that millennials will know. Homage to a popular Drake song. People know that. But also because it's beginning a business from the bottom. And then, of course, the subtitle is important to like explain what the business is about. But like in terms of just a regular business where it's not, even if it's not like a digital product, a digital course, try to figure out something that communicates the end result in the name. But to be honest with you, like, it's not something you should stress over. You can always change the name. You know that, right? You can always change.
Yeah.
And if you change the name, but you've already gotten customers, the customers don't go away because you change the name. In fact, you might even be able to change the name in order to get more customers. I was watching Shark Tank the other day. There was this company called Bantam Bagels. You hear about them? They're in New York, and they make these really good stuffed cream cheese bagels. Oh, I want to get some of these. Oh, I think they're in grocery stores now. Fuck, they sound so good. Get some of these. Okay, so they're like little bagel circles with cream cheese in them, so they're delicious, right? Obviously, sounds delicious. But Lori Grenier, who was investing in Bantam, said Bantam Bagels doesn't really describe what's in the bagel. Like, it doesn't really jump off the shelf and make me pick it out. She's like, we're changing the name to Bagel Stuffins, right?
She just came up with that on the show.
Bagel Stuffins, yeah.
She's just like, oh wow.
I mean, it's a pretty good name, but it's not like it's just pretty an obvious name.
Yeah.
It's an obvious, yeah, it's an obvious name. And of course, like when you have that amount of money, you can just be like, I'm buying the domain. I don't care who has it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the idea, right? Bantam Bagels was already doing well when they came to Lori. They were already doing like several $100,000, if not more, a year with just the name Bantam Bagels. But she's like, hey, let's reposition this a little bit and let's change the name to make it describe the intended result, which is a stuffed bagel. And it will jump off the shelf more. It will look more attractive when we put the packaging together. But
it doesn't require any sort of explanation.
Yeah.
The thing itself says what it is.
Like if you're saying I'm eating bagel bites, I know what you're eating.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly, precisely.
But if you're saying I'm eating Bantam Bagels, oh, what's that?
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were already selling with Bantam Bagels. Names are something that you get hung up on, but it's the same thing that like when you think about in the beginning, like I want to buy a business, I want to get a business checking account, I want to get 1,000 business cards. It's one of those things that's like, it makes you feel important to have a nice business name, but it's not always the most important thing, and it shouldn't be something that you obsess over to the exclusion of actually doing the business and like making the money, getting your customers. That's it, validating the idea. When you validate your idea, you won't necessarily be validating the name, you'll be validating the concept, and then you can test the name later. So it's tough to come up with a good name. In fact, you can see I have a bunch of names on my computer right now, and all of these are like either friends of mine or products they use, companies they use, Pavlok, Fighter Fix, Freelance Domination, that's my product, Founder. It's tough to come up with a good name. I mean, you can even look at these, like Pavlok is like a play on Pavlov's dog, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't know what Pavlok does just by seeing the name. Founder, maybe you do. Rich 20-something, maybe you do. But the whole idea is it can be really tough to come up with a name, and it's a sticking point for a lot of people. My advice is if you want to have a formula that's pretty reliable, think of a name that describes the end result for the customer, right? So in this case, Start Up From the Bottom is a course that teaches you how to start an online business from the bottom. Freelance Domination will teach you how to dominate your freelancing skills. And I'm not even crazy about that name. It's okay, could be better, but it does describe the intended result. But it's not something that you should obsess over in the beginning, and it can always change, and it's not necessarily going to hurt your business unless it's a crazy name. Names are not as important as you think they are. But there's a few easy ways to pick names, just a simple formula.